The Tennessee Mood Tracker is special to me because I got a very special place in my heart for the Tennessee fan base. Their loyalty through mountains and mountains of adversity over the past decade has been spectacular to witness. Not spectacular in the sense that it's been fun, it's just been incredible to watch. There was a conversation, I remember when I first got here, which was in January, late January of last year. We were talking in the 24/7 office just across the way here, which is a ghost town now, but I was talking with Luke Stampini, who works here, and I was talking about LSU in 2019. I was looking at some traffic reports and how the increase on the LSU site spiked, obviously because of what happened in 2019. And we were just kind of saying, what could be the next fan base? What could be the next just monster program that's waiting to spike like that from a traffic standpoint? It's Tennessee. It's obviously Tennessee. Like, Tennessee's been a sleeping dragon, it seems like 100 years now. And so I just sit here and wait. And I wait, and I wait. And you guys wait, and you wait, and you wait. The reward for that patience, here's where it gets tough to talk about, is an NCAA cloud and being asked to invest more patience. Is it fair? No, it's not. Is it reality? Yeah, it is. So I go over to the Tennessee message board over on Vols 24/7 today, and I said, hey guys, I kind of sheepishly came in. I said, hey guys, it's that time. It's mood tracker time. One word or phrase. Give me your mood towards Tennessee football right now. So here's what we got. I want you to notice what you don't hear. Hyped, spelled H-U-E-P-E-D, a play on the last name of Josh Heupel. Proud, I'll get back to that in a second. Ready, a lot of cautious optimism, obviously. Wait and see, punch drunk, jaded, cleaned out, meaning that the flush button has been hit and it's just start over yet again up there. But I want to circle back to that proud. Saw a couple of those. The pride is in the idea right now that everyone associated with Tennessee football wants to be at Tennessee. No one's stuck around there because of the fringe benefits that you get for being on the Tennessee roster right now or being a coach at Tennessee. It's bare bones there right now. And there's a lot of uncertainty. So you can rest assured and bet your bottom dollar, anybody there wants to be there. That's a source of pride, obviously. But then the second part is you got to either be one of two things right now. In college football, you got to be good or you at least got to be fun to watch. Tennessee was bad and boring under Jeremy Pruitt. That's just a terrible combination. And yet still everyone perseveres. Fan base is still there. They keep running. You feel like you just ran a marathon and you're pouring sweat and the meter says you just went 26.2 miles or however long that is, but then you look down and you were on a treadmill the entire time. You haven't gone a foot further than you were before you started. And so you're bent over, hands on knees, and you're and then you look up. And then you say, all right, well, we've come this far. Let's just keep going. But remember when I told you, notice what you didn't hear. Out of all these moods that I was given from Tennessee fans, no one said they were done, which a lot of you probably would be. Like if you've watched Tennessee voyeuristically, if you've watched from a distance, I guarantee you at some point you've said, how do these people put up with this? Like how do they continue year after year after year to underachieve relative to the potential of this program? And the answer is loyalty. That's the reason why I talk about Tennessee a lot on this show. It's because we get a lot of viewers when I talk about Tennessee. That's loyalty. They're not good right now. There's a difference. When you talk about Alabama, you talk about Ohio State, you're going to get a certain portion of folks who watch those videos just because they're good and they matter and they're nationally relevant. Tennessee is none of those right now. And yet the fan base is still there, which obviously leads someone like me to ask, what would it be like if they were good? It's been a generation, by the way. I'm talking national relevance, not going 9-4. National relevance at Tennessee is something in concept form that's so old, if you're about to be a recruit in high school, you don't remember it. I mean, mid-2000s, that's the last time Tennessee would have really been nationally relevant. Well, it's 2021 right now. Like if you're about to be a senior in high school, what were you? You were 2 years old, 3 years old at the time that Tennessee was last nationally relevant, and still they're there. And so what did they need to nail right now? Well, what they needed to nail was the hire, but not the head coaching hire. Like that, we can get around to in just a second. They had to nail the athletic director hire. So there's a lot of excitement at the very least that they nailed the athletic director hire in Danny White. Because here's what hasn't been wrong at Tennessee. They haven't had bad luck. It hasn't been a recruiting issue. Tennessee's problems have been poor hires. And they've been poor hires made by ill-equipped athletic directors and people around that athletic department that really, as it turns out, did not know how to hire properly. And so I know right now it's kind of in vogue to look at Josh Heupel and to cast your own opinions on him. You'll notice there's been a little absence of that on this show. It's been intentional. I haven't given a grade on the hire. I haven't told you 3 years they're looking for another head coach there. Even if I feel that way, who cares? Because if I'm a Tennessee fan, here's how I'm looking at it. I've watched us win the press conference enough. Like, I've watched guys step to the podium and say all the right things. I've watched all the energy. I've watched all the sprinkles, and yet the icing and then the cake is just absent. I've seen all that. So let's get a guy in here that seems boring, a little ho-hum when it comes to the press release we put out. Maybe he wins, though. Like, maybe that's the guy. I'm going to reserve judgment, and I'm going to watch and see what transpires on the field. Then we got this whole NCAA thing behind us. But, man, they've had a hiring problem. And so maybe Josh Heupel is the right guy. But even if he's not the right guy, even if we're having to reset this button again 2 or 3 years down the road, even if the worst were to happen from the NCAA point of view, you got to build the foundation. You cannot be adding 2 or 3 stories onto the house and the foundation is just sand. We got to be able to make good hires. And that's why I'm so excited about Danny White being in there. There are no sure things in this world. But Danny White as an athletic director is about as close to it as we get. Then we can start extending. Then we can start doing what the other programs do and actually making quality hires. Then those quality hires can build a solid foundation. Then we can get a legitimate recruiting plan in place and realize we don't have to own the state of Tennessee. We can go to Atlanta. We can go to Charlotte. We can go to Memphis, which is in Tennessee. Don't know if you knew that. We can go around. We don't have to be landlocked into the borders of our state. We just got to get the right guy in place. And so that's what you hope you've done there. But you know what? Like, it's not going to play itself out in year 1. It's not going to play itself out probably in year 2. We're looking at the composite right now, and Jesse's showing you a lot of things that scream graphically the same message. It's going to take a little while. Wish I had other news. I don't, but this is a mood tracker segment. And as long as there's still a little optimism in the mood of Tennessee fans, then they're still the same folks that I've come to know them as, which is fiercely loyal. Maybe you could argue to a fault over the last decade, but fiercely loyal. So that's the Tennessee Mood Tracker.